Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Chainlink is exploding to the upside, breaking out from this massive bullish pattern as this bullish divergence is playing out perfectly here in the short term, while Ethereum is once again testing this massive area of resistance, while the price of XRP is getting closer towards a breakout from this bullish flag pattern, while Solana is currently running into important short-term resistance. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the weekly Ethereum chart, and right now the price of ETH is still in a larger bull market on the larger timeframes, but right now we're running into this major point of resistance again, sitting at around 4,000 to 4.1k approximately, mainly based on these previous highs. But once we could see a breakout, ideally above 4.1k with confirmation, then in that case, the next price target is basically the all-time high for Ethereum, which is sitting at around 4.8k to 4.9k, so just underneath $5,000 as the next price target once we actually break out above 4.1k. So once again, that is resistance to pay attention to, but for now, we're still looking very bullish in terms of the larger bull market on the larger timeframes. And the same can be said about this 3-day Bitcoin chart. Obviously, the moment we broke out above these previous levels of resistance, I've been targeting this high right here at around 4,000 to 4.1k, which is still currently acting as major resistance. And if we're taking a look at this daily time frame right now, once again, we still have this major area of resistance in between around 3.9k to 4.1k. So expect the price to struggle in that area, but we also have this previous area of previous resistance now acting as new support, and that's sitting in between around 3430 to 3560. So as I've said over the last week or so, basically once we saw this rejection from this resistance, I said potentially expect the price to come back down into this area on the price chart and then bounce from that area. And what have we seen then? Well, we've seen exactly that. The price went into exactly this price range as expected and then bounced from that exact area. And so for now, this tells us that there's still a lot of demand in this area, a lot of people interested in buying Ethereum in this area on the price chart, acting as support. And once again, we still have resistance in this area, at least for now. And so ultimately, in the somewhat shorter term here, the price of ETH is basically just bouncing around between support and resistance in a bit of a sideways price range at the moment, but this is occurring within a larger bull market. So soon enough, at some point, we'll likely see a breakout beyond this resistance, especially if we keep coming back up to test this resistance over and over again. That ultimately buys up through all of the sellers here, which will point towards a breakout coming soon. And if we're taking a look at this daily time frame right now, technically speaking, this bearish divergence is still currently active on the daily Ethereum chart with higher highs in the price and lower highs in the RSI. But with that being said, if we see a breakout in the price with a daily candle close above this high right here in the price action, then that would invalidate the previous bearish divergence and would have to reconfirm a new bearish divergence if the price is still in higher highs while the RSI is still in lower highs. And so once again, if we see a breakout in the price, would have to reconfirm a new bearish divergence. But in order to completely get rid of this bearish divergence and invalidate it altogether and invalidate any chance of a bearish divergence happening, we ideally need to see higher highs in the RSI as well, because if we're seeing higher highs in the RSI at the same time as higher highs in the price, then there's no divergence at all. And so the extra bullish signal for Ethereum would be if we see a breakout in this daily Ethereum RSI. Once again, if we break out above this high or above this descending line of resistance, that would get rid of any chance of a bearish divergence forming here, at least on the daily time frame for now. And if we're doing that, that would also mean a breakout above this high in the price. And if we're doing that, that would potentially mean a breakout above this resistance. And once again, once we break out above this resistance with confirmation, so candle closes above 4.1k, then next I'll be looking towards the all-time high at just underneath 5,000. And with that being said, if we're taking a look at Chainlink on the weekly time frame, right now the price of Chainlink is continuing the major breakout beyond the golden pocket area of resistance, which right now is acting as major support, sitting in between around $21 to $23. And so obviously, as I've been saying over the last half a week or so, while we saw that short-term pullback, I said we've not yet invalidated the breakout right here because we haven't seen a weekly candle close back below this golden pocket, which means the bullish breakout is still active. So as I've been saying this whole time, we're looking very bullish on the larger time frames when it comes to the price of Chainlink here. And the next major price target is this Fibonacci level. But before that, we do have a bit of resistance at around $27 to $28 approximately based on this previous high. But above that, we have this Fibonacci level of resistance at around $31.50, and also these previous highs closer towards $34 acting as major resistance. And so the price of Chainlink is starting to run into this next area of resistance on the price chart. So just be aware of that. The price could start struggling a little bit around those price levels. But ideally, if we could see a breakout above around $34 with confirmation, so ideally a weekly candle close above $34, then in that case, next I'd be targeting closer towards the all-time high at around $53. And so from the current price of Chainlink, that's pretty much a double, almost a double in the price of Chainlink from where we are right now to that all-time high level before we even break into new all-time highs. Once again, that is basically around a double. And really the only thing that's sitting between the current price and that all-time high level is this major area of resistance right here based on those levels that I just mentioned. And now if we were to see a rejection from these points of resistance or another short-term pullback here, then in that case, once again, expect a lot of support in between around $21 to $23. And if we're taking a look at this weekly Chainlink chart, we also have a bit of support at around $23 to $24 based on this previous line of resistance now acting as new support. And obviously, as I've been talking about over and over again recently here on the channel, we have an active breakout for this massive bullish pattern on the weekly time frame for Chainlink, which is of course the cup and handle pattern that has been forming since the beginning of 2022. And this pattern right here in this breakout would only invalidate if we see a confirmed break with a weekly candle close, for example, back below this point right here. So back below around $23 to $24. But for now, that has not happened. In fact, we saw a recent retest of that level and a slight dip below that level. But for now, we're holding above that level, which is good news on the larger timeframes. And so when we're looking at the price target for this breakout right here, for this massive bullish pattern, the technical price target for Chainlink right now is sitting at just above $90 per Chainlink. So from where we are right now, at least as of recording this video, to that price target, we're talking about around a 230% move towards the upside, and that is with no leverage. And so obviously, as I've been saying day after day here on the channel, this is potentially a major trading opportunity for a huge swing trade that is potentially only just getting started right now. And a trade like this, a move like this, obviously on the larger timeframes, would likely take months to play out. It won't just get there overnight. And we also have to remember that between now and that massive price target, of course, there's points of resistance along the way that we cannot ignore, like those levels that I just mentioned earlier. So the price can still struggle around resistance, even if we have a major bullish price target in play. And of course, once again, if we break back below around $23, give or take, with confirmation, so candle closes below that level, then that would invalidate that price target because that would invalidate this pattern. But at least for now, on these larger timeframes, for the larger bull run, Chainlink is still currently looking bullish, as I've been saying for quite a while now on the channel. Actually, since all the way back down here, I've been sharing this huge cup and handle pattern. And if we're zooming into the shorter term, looking at the 4-hour time frame, first of all, around half a week ago or so, I shared this bearish divergence as a short-term warning signal before we saw this pullback. And what came next was that short-term pullback as expected. But then in my last altcoin video just yesterday, when the price of Chainlink was right around here, I shared this new bullish divergence, the opposite of a bearish divergence. And so I said that this is telling us that the bearish divergence is basically over, and we're due to see potentially a bullish relief here in the short term as one of the most likely outcomes from a bullish divergence. And obviously, we have very much seen a bullish relief over the last one day. And now, honestly, even though I was expecting a bullish relief, this is actually exceeding my expectations. We saw a lot of bullish momentum here. I wasn't exactly expecting a massive move like this, but with that being said, we still saw a bullish move, which was one of the expected outcomes as the most likely scenario from a bullish divergence. And so overall, things are simply looking bullish right now for Chainlink. But remember, we do have those points of resistance that we're starting to run into. So keep in mind, we might struggle around those levels on the price chart, but for now, we're still looking bullish, especially in terms of the larger trend and momentum. And as for short-term support levels, if for whatever reason we see a slight little pullback, I would expect some short-term support at around $26.70 approximately, based on this previous resistance flipping into new support. And below that level, I'd expect more support at around $25.30 and more support closer towards around $24.50. And so when it comes to my trading strategy right now for the price of Chainlink, it has not changed over the last few days. So right now I'm still accumulating a massive long position for a swing trade right here. And obviously I've been saying that over the last few days with this short-term dip, that was even a better entry opportunity, a better entry to basically accumulate a long position for this huge swing trade right here. And as of right now, I've actually taken a very small amount of profits from that trade at around this point of resistance, because as I've also been saying here on the channel, around points of resistance, I do take a little bit of profits out of those long positions just in case we see a major rejection from resistance. And then I keep the rest of the trade still open in case we just break out further to the upside. And so once again, this is a trade that I'll potentially hold for a matter of weeks or even months, not just a few hours or a couple of days. And once again, right now, at least on these larger timeframes, it's still in the very early stages of this trade. So this could still be potentially an opportunity that I would still be adding to this trade. For example, if we see a rejection from resistance or a breakout beyond an important point of resistance, that could be a signal to potentially add to a long position, because obviously right now the price of Chainlink is still currently, at least at the time of recording this video, still sitting below $30, and the price target is at around $90 for this trade right here. And in case you're wondering, I'm taking this trading opportunity over on my BTNX account. So I'll make sure to leave a link to the BTNX exchange below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link below this video to make your account, you can get a 5.5k deposit bonus. And only if you use that link, you can get an exclusive 10% discount on all trading fees on the BTNX exchange forever. But that's only available if you use the link below this video to make your BTNX account and start trading on that account. So if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check it out. Once again, first link below this video. But for whatever reason, if you don't want BTNX, there is also Bybit, which is another exchange that I also trade on. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit as well in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link to make your Bybit account, you can get a 500 USDT position airdrop. So basically a free $500 trade as your first trade over on Bybit. But that's only available if you use the link below this video to make your Bybit account and deposit on that account. But with that being said, taking a look at XRP on the weekly time frame, and right now XRP is obviously experiencing a major bounce from that $2 level, which is still acting as massive support. And right now, around that $3 level, that's still acting as massive resistance at around $2.90 to $3. So right now, that is the resistance and support level to pay attention to on these larger timeframes. And right now, technically speaking, we're still in a larger bull market. We've not yet actually confirmed an invalidation of this larger bull market. And so with that being said, if we're zooming into the shorter term, looking at the 4-hour chart, right now the price of XRP is forming a potential bullish flag pattern, but this only really confirms and sets up a massive bullish price target if we can confirm a breakout above this line of resistance right here, which is sitting at approximately $2.48. And ideally, if we can break out above this previous high to actually set a new higher high in place in the short term, that would be even better. And this previous high is sitting at around 262. And so once again, we first need to break out above 248 and then ideally above 262. And if that happens, especially if we see some sort of a retest, that isn't necessary. But if we see that happen, that's extra confirmation. And that would further confirm this bullish breakout with a massive bullish price target for this bull flag pattern. And the price target, in case you're wondering, would be sitting at above $5 per XRP, around $5.30 approximately. So from the point of the breakout to that price target, we're talking about over a double, over a 100% gain. And so obviously this is also potentially another massive trading opportunity that has not even started right now. This is still a trading opportunity that is yet to happen. But I want to make it clear that right now that potential price target in this bullish flag pattern right here is not active. It is not in play right now. So I'll not exactly enter into a long position right now while the price is below this resistance. But if we can confirm that breakout with candle closes above this resistance and ideally above this previous high, then that could be a signal to potentially start accumulating a long position. As always, not financial advice. I'm just sharing these potential trading strategies. And as always, if we see a breakout to the upside and then we break back below below that previous point of resistance, that would invalidate the breakout and invalidate that price target. So that would also be a potential point to think about a stop loss. And now if we see another rejection from this descending line of resistance, in that case, we could find a bit of short-term support at around $2.24 approximately. And then below that, we have some more support right here at around $2.04. So around that $2 level, acting as major support once again. And then below that, we also have this descending line of support right here, currently sitting at around $1.95. And so until XRP confirms this breakout right here, as of right now, we're technically within a bit of a bearish trend in the short term, forming lower highs and lower lows just in the short term once again. But zooming out, looking at the bigger picture, this is just a minor pullback within a larger bull market, as we can see. And if we're taking a quick look at the price of Solana on the 3-day time frame, Solana is continuing the major bounce from this important level on the price chart at around $210 approximately. And as I've said recently here on the channel, it's really in between around 200 to 210. That's currently an area of support that we need to pay attention to, because if we start breaking below that area, in that case, the next support is sitting at around 185 to 190 approximately, based on these previous highs coming into new support here. And as I've also mentioned recently here on the channel, if Solana were to break back below $200, that would basically invalidate the bullish price structure, because breaking below a critical level like this, that is bearish price structure. So that would be bad news, at least in the short to midterm, as in talking about a matter of days or weeks potentially. But for now, once again, we're still holding above that level and currently bouncing from around 200 to 210, which is good news here in the short term. And the next major price target for this larger bull run for Solana is sitting at around $313 based on this Fibonacci extension. But between now and then, of course, we do have a lot of short-term resistance to pay attention to. First of all, we have strong resistance at around this all-time high at around 260. But before then, we also have strong resistance at around 245 to 246. And right now, as of recording this video, we're running into a bit of short-term resistance based on previous support, now acting as new resistance, and that's sitting at around 232 approximately. And now, if we were to see a rejection from this level, we also have this level of support to pay attention to, sitting at around 222. And below that, once again, we have major support down towards around 205, but that's really in between around 200 to 210, acting as an area of support. And when it comes to the price structure or the trend just in the short term on the small time frames here, at least for now, the price is obviously looking bearish in terms of the price structure, because we're seeing lower highs and lower lows, which is a bearish trend by definition. But that's talking about the shorter term. Of course, when we're zooming out, looking at the bigger picture, it's the exact opposite. We're seeing higher lows and higher highs, which is a bullish trend on the larger time frame. So of course, on different time frames, we can see different things. So the short term can be a little bit bearish, while the longer term is still bullish, because that's just a short-term pullback within a larger bullish trend. And in order to really flip this around in the short term, to flip much more bullish again in the short term, we ideally need a breakout not only above this point of resistance, but ideally once we start breaking out above 246, that would be a big change in the price structure, starting to finally flip much more bullish again in the short term. And as always, if you want to trade any of these moves in the price of any crypto, once again, check out those links below this video to those exchanges if you want to claim those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions. And the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.